Tuesday's primary election was full of political upsets, and one of them was in the Houston area. State Representative Steve Toth defeated incumbent Congressman Dan Crenshaw in the Republican primary for the 2nd Congressional District. Now, this race pitted two conservatives against each other, with Toth accusing Crenshaw of drifting away from the GOP base. And now, with that primary win under his belt, Toth is looking ahead to the general election and possible a new role in D.C. Joining us more to talk about all of this and what it could mean for Texas politics is Eleanor Klibanoff. She's a reporter with the Texas Tribune. Eleanor, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
You know, certainly people in Austin should recognize the name Steve Toth, right? We talked about him a lot in session after session, but remind us all about his history in Texas politics.
Sure. So Steve Toth was initially elected in 2012. He has since been, has run for higher office a couple of times, has most recently been in the legislature since 2018, known really for filing very aggressive conservative bills. He's been a member of the Freedom Caucus, sort of the furthest right group in the Texas legislature. Certainly, involved in a lot of sort of the political spectacles that we've seen in the last couple of years, and just sort of a personality, I would say, in the House.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about Steve Toth, a lot of times you think about even challenging, Republican leaders in the Texas legislature, right? Like, he's not afraid to push back against the governor and his thoughts as Speaker of the House, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think he's definitely gotten crossways with Governor Abbott. The most high profile example was over COVID restrictions. He was one of the first voices saying, let's sort of undo these. Let's allow businesses to open. He's also gotten sort of sideways with Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, other conservative leaders. So definitely not shy about pushing elected officials to be even more conservative, sort of even more ideologically pure in his mind to the conservative mission.
And so when you think about Dan Crenshaw, though, I mean, I would venture to say he's no moderate. So what happened here in terms of this race that makes it, so unique, and what do you think really powered Toth to victory?
So when Dan Crenshaw was first elected in 2018 to Congress, I think he was really seen as this up and coming star. Sort of is a lot of those pieces we see written, is he the future of the Texas GOP? Is he the future of the national party? He was a little bullish on President Trump. He was sort of presenting this, let's return to pure conservatism. Let's not get caught up in these sort of petty battles that the party was in at that time. And I think since then, he has had a couple of sort of run-ins with the far right of the party. He's been outspoken about the Freedom Caucus. He's very sort of aggressive on foreign aid, which has sometimes put him at odds with the party. He is a war veteran who served overseas and has been outspoken about getting aid for Ukraine, as among other things. So his background has sort of been a little bit more nuanced, maybe, than the far right side would like it to be.
Yeah. As we move forward with this, potential race where you have Toth joining, the U.S. House of Representatives, what does this really mean for Texas politics?
I think we've seen a couple of races this go round where the people who maybe were seen as on the far edge of the party, a little bit fringe, a little bit too conservative, maybe 5 years ago, certainly 10 years ago, are now really ascendant. That's sort of where the party is going. We see that with the comptroller, with Don Huffines. We see that, with both of the people nominated for attorney general or in the runoff for attorney general. So I think certainly the party, the Texas GOP, which is currently the party that, sort of dominates statewide elections, is just getting more and more conservative with who they're putting forward.
Yeah, and it will certainly be interesting to see how that plays out, not only in November, but then in January when the legislature comes back and starts getting to work on bills. Reporter Eleanor Klibanoff with the Texas Tribune, we thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me.